Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Education Talk. This is the host, Justin Stange. Unfortunately, this will be the final episode of this podcast as the school has cut the entirety of our funding, but we thank you for all of your support through the last 15 seconds of this podcast. We apologize that this episode is coming out half a week late. Complications arose in the recording of this episode, preventing us from releasing it at a regularly scheduled time. However, today we will have a special episode where we will bring a special guest speaker, myself. We'll be discussing the topic of required courses in schools. Hello and welcome to the show. So what is the problem that you have with required courses? I'll admit that required courses undoubtedly do have many benefits. They make the students more well-rounded in their knowledge and give the students an understanding of the potential paths that they may want to pursue in the future. Unfortunately, with these benefits come the problems. Many students may already be confident of the path they want to pursue, so they may be forced to take classes that won't bring them much benefit to their future, while they may not have time to be able to take the classes that will align with their career ambitions or plans for their own future. But to be successful in a career, you need to have a lot of knowledge in a variety of subjects. They can't just know about one. I am not at all against students being well-rounded in their knowledge. It's quite necessary for students to have knowledge in various different fields. I just think that in our current situation, required courses go too far, requiring students to learn information that they will never end up applying in the future. For example, how many people will end up in their future applying their knowledge of what a particular king or other historical figure achieved? Still, while basic writing skills are required for the far majority of careers, more advanced topics such as knowing and identifying rhetorical devices and remembering the definition of words that will never appear in any practical situation will never come into relevance throughout their careers. Most people have no need to go so in-depth about so many of these topics in the future, so it is simply unnecessary to teach them such things. Well, these students can still choose to take the basic, less time-consuming classes if they believe these advanced skills are not going to benefit them in the future, right? Yes, that is an option, but it still doesn't really solve the main problem. While many of these classes may be less time-consuming, they still will fill up the much limited schedule just as much as a more difficult class will. Students are offered many different classes that they may want to take, but their schedule, unfortunately, is filled with many different required courses, so the students are restricted from taking these other courses that may interest them more or bring greater benefit. If the student is already at a level of knowledge on a subject sufficient for their intended career path, they really have no need for taking more classes in that subject. How do you think that we could improve the system that the schools already do have in place? I don't believe that students should necessarily be fully given carte blanche in their course selection process. As stated previously, I do believe that students should be sufficiently well-rounded in their knowledge. I would propose that schools should provide proficiency tests that would assess whether the student has the necessary knowledge in a particular subject for future careers. If they are to pass that test, they would not be required to take more classes in that subject unless they choose to. Implementing this system would also bring along other unintended benefits. Since the students would be taking classes not because they are required to do so, but rather because they chose to take it, the classes would contain a coterie of students that are actually interested in and care about the subject. And that's it for the Education Talk. Thanks for taking your time to listen to us. As always, you can contact us via our email address, don'tcontactus@gmail.gov, if you have any questions. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful day.